How to get glass skin if your skin isn't perfect. The glass skin trend really took off about 1.5 years ago, and it's this K-beauty trend of having this beautiful skin that's so smooth it's almost like glass. But for those of us who have scars or acne, pigmentation issues or texture, it almost feels like we can't participate because our skin just doesn't look like that. We don't have that kind of a canvas to work with. I have scars and texture, and for the longest time it kind of felt like I couldn't participate. But I did create a routine that works. Products that layer together well and actually have actives to give us that glass skin look. For those of us who don't already look like an Instagram model or like a TikTok star, for those of us who do have little blemishes or things to deal with, and specifically how we can work with our skin instead of against it to still participate in the glass skin trend. So consider this your guide to glass skin for those of us who do have texture. And in order to get this glass skin, we have to speak about what it is. So okay, it's this K-beauty trend where skin looks so flawless it's almost glass-like, but it's not oily. Some people construe glass skin as being oily or greasy, but it's actually quite the opposite. It's hydrated, it is supple, and the skin almost looks bouncy. It's just so hydrated and soft, but it's not reflective in the way that something like an oil would do if we applied it to our skin. So how do we get this hydrated, smooth, poreless look without relying on oils or relying on makeup, which actually we're going to talk about makeup in Photoshop when it comes to the glass skin trend because there is something the industry is hiding there. But if we want this look that's not oily, but that's just hydrated, dewy, and bouncy, how do we get it? The key is yes, hydration as well as exfoliation and layers, which we are going to dive into. The very first step to a glass skin routine or any skincare routine is cleanser. And when we actually look at the trends in Korea or from brands like Peach and Lily who have kind of pioneered the glass skin trend, they often recommend double cleansing. Now this is something that I don't actually think you have to do. Glass skin is normally accompanied with very light, minimal makeup or no makeup at all. And a double cleanse is normally used if you're trying to remove heavy makeup or sunscreen, etc. So even though some glass skin routines recommend a double cleanse, I actually don't. I think that keeping it simple is better. And although this is from Isntree, we will be speaking about Peach and Lily. They are a brand that really defined glass skin and really pioneered this entire movement. And so we're working with them on a portion of today's video, but we're going to speak about that later because first we gotta cleanse. When it comes to cleansing, we don't want to overly strip the skin. And if we do have texture or acne, we need to use a cleanser that's going to help us with those issues and not just be some oily, greasy mess. I see a lot of glass skin cleansers that are just like hydration, oil, and that's great. But if you're like me and you have blemishes or if you need a little extra something, we don't want to load up with a bunch of oily greasiness if that's not going to work for our face. This is one of my favorites, especially if you're on a budget. It's the Isntree Sensitive Balance Bubble Foam, and this is made for sensitive skin that does deal with little things like acne or hyperpigmentation. It's a slightly acidic bubble foam cleanser and it cleans the skin without stripping, but because it's made for sensitive skin, if you have rosacea, if you have redness, if you're prone to acne or pigmentation, this one is beautiful. And it really helps to bring your skin back into balance. Now, because it doesn't strip, it doesn't also leave us feeling dry, because that's like the opposite of glass skin, but this preps our skin to really absorb the next products that are going to be applied. This is excellent, especially if you do have young, maybe a little bit more oily prone or combination prone skin. If you do have slightly more mature skin and you worry about fine lines and wrinkles or rosacea, I'd actually recommend the Dr. Sam's cleanser. Dr. Sam's cleanser is so amazing. It is so luxurious. It's a little bit more of a hydrating formula, and it's excellent for adults who still break out. And if you are a little bit more on that dry to combination side, you might want to go with that one. But for me, this is the perfect start to a glass skin routine. Then we gotta talk about toners and actually essences. I don't recommend a toner as a part of this routine. Toners are meant to tone or balance the skin, but with this cleanser, this actually balances the skin so well that I don't find that we need it. At the same time, we want that hydration, we want that bounce, and there is no better toner that I know other than this one from Pyunkang. This is the Essence Toner, and this is like liquid grape jelly on your face. The ingredients are so simple. It's kind of like a thick water, and it is just so lovely to the skin, and it absorbs phenomenally. The penetration of this product is unparalleled, and it's non-irritating to skin as well. So if you have super sensitive skin, or if you're going through a breakout, or you've just got a bad sunburn, this is something that's actually safe to use on the skin. I freaking love this. It's actually thanks to one of our beautiful butterflies named Shenny that I know about both of these products. She's in our super secret community in the Discord and everywhere else, and she got me hooked on these, and they really are two of my favorite glass skin products. Now, I'm in California in the warm California sun boardwalk. But Sheni is actually in the Czech Republic, and she uses these for the driest winter skin. So it really shows that both of these work no matter what climate you are in. Now, what I also adore about this is how well it works with this. This is from Peach and Lily. This is relatively new, but I have not met a better glass skin product. Peach and Lily actually has a glass skin serum that I like if you have regular skin, and it's nice. It's really good. It has peptides and everything, but I'm like, what about for those of us who have skin that's not already perfect? This is the answer. This is the Peach and Lily Power Cocktail Lactic Acid Serum, and this has 15 different extracts that absorb into skin as well as lactic acid, which exfoliates. Now, let's go back to our skin diagram. We understand our skin has many layers. Those top ones exfoliate and desquamate off, but if we speed up that process gently with exfoliation, we can reveal brighter, fresher, bouncier, shinier, more luminous skin. And exfoliating regularly and appropriately can also stimulate our skin cells in those bottom layers to produce more skin that is more supple and bouncy. Now, there are different acids or different ways that you can exfoliate, and most of us who have acne or blemish-prone skin do tend to go for salicylic acid, but unfortunately, salicylic acid can dry out the skin, whereas AHAs, alpha hydroxy acids, are gentle, and they actually pull moisture and hydration into the skin. So this is giving us extracts, it's giving us exfoliation, but it's also giving us hydration, and this just looks so beautiful on the skin. Now, this is an exfoliant, but I find it to be very gentle, and you can actually use this once a day. There aren't a lot of exfoliants that you can use daily because a lot of those exfoliants are just too harsh or too much, but you can build up and work up to using this once a day. I would say start 1 to 3 times a week, maybe at night just to be safe, and then you can start to up that maybe over the course of 6 weeks or so. And as you do, you'll probably notice that the skin is a little bit more fresh, a little bit more exfoliated. As always, you need to make sure that you're wearing a sunscreen whenever you are exfoliating daily, and we do have some sunscreens that we're going to talk about, but this is phenomenal. And for those of us who do have acne or hyperpigmentation or texture, it has ingredients that actually help with those things, but it works for us who have textured skin. And again, you can use this alongside their glass skin serum. I do think their glass skin serum is nice, but for me, who doesn't already look perfect, I feel like this is an even better glass skin serum. Can you see how my skin is also just, it's bouncy, it's exfoliated, and it's not overly irritated. This also has ceramides, so it's hydrating. It has a hyaluronic acid complex, which literally takes the moisture from this and pulls it into the skin. But this is the window to glass skin for me. Glass skin pens. Dad jokes, you see what I did there? It does say that you can use this morning or night. I would recommend, again, always building up, but I would say you could use this once a day in the morning. You could use it at night. It depends on your routine and what you're comfortable with. But again, just make sure that you're wearing that SPF. But before we put on the SPF, we do want to speak about moisturizers. And for a glass skin routine, I actually recommend a different moisturizer during the day than at night. Glass skin is, again, all about being supple and bouncy. And when it comes to having pores and texture, we almost want something that's going to fill that in, almost like a primer. Now, we don't actually want to use makeup or want to use a primer, but we want something that's really gonna smooth over and absorb so that the light can kind of just dance across it as opposed to kind of getting stuck inside some of those angles like acne scars, which I have. This is from Pure Am. This is the Authentic Barrier Cream, and I love this. This has ceramides. It's made for skin that's eczema prone and that has a lot of irritation. It's super, super sensitive and gentle. They've actually tested it with like German dermatologists and different panels to see how deep it goes inside of skin's layers and how it works for those who do have a damaged skin barrier. This is fantastic. But the way it layers underneath this is phenomenal, which is I think one of the other reasons that I love to use this during the day. But this is super, super hydrating, super buttery, and even for my oily acne prone skin, it doesn't cause breakouts or irritation, and it doesn't make me look oily. That's the whole thing about glass skin, is that you don't want to just go in with oil, because then you just look greasy. We want to look hydrated and supple, and that's exactly what this does. This is so beautiful, it is so hydrating, and it's so soothing, especially to skin that is more prone to irritation. And I have like a pimple right there. I love applying this during the day. You could also use this at night, but I actually have a different recommendation for the evening. This right here is from Sandra Lee MD. This is the Dream On Retinol Night Cream, and this is relatively new, but oh my God. This is a nighttime retinol cream that's not overly irritating. irritating. Again, Dr. Sandra Lee, MD, you might know her as Dr. Pimple Popper. Oh my God, I'm obsessed with her YouTube videos, but she has a really good skincare line and it's at decent prices. This retinol night cream, as you can see, it almost feels a little bouncy on the skin. I would say it's a little bit more liquidy than the Pure AM one, but this is wonderful to wear overnight. And the reason why is because overnight, it gives this retinol a chance to penetrate. Retinoids are not always photostable, meaning you can't wear them out in the day in the sunshine because unless they are stabilized properly, they can degrade. So retinoids are best used at night and best used regularly. But as you know, retinoids can also cause some irritation. This form of retinol is the most gentle, so it doesn't cause a lot of that irritation. And because it's put inside of this night cream, it's like this bouncy, almost like this pillowy cushion on the skin. And it absorbs well and it works overnight so that when you wake up, you actually have that glowing skin. Remember, the way that retinoids work is by transforming themselves into retinoic acid, which is the most potent and bioavailable form your skin can get. Bioavailable meaning bio, life available. It's like, here, you can have it, my little skin cell. This will work with you. And we know that retinoids are the gold standard in dermatology because they help with acne, they help with wrinkles, they help with hyperpigmentation, fine lines, etc. But you have to use them regularly in order for them to work. And at night, this is just so beautiful. It really helps to speed up that skin cell turnover, but retinoids do not exfoliate. And that's like a common misconception. People think they do. They do not. They actually thicken the deeper layers of the skin. But that's also why this is so important during the day, to make sure you are getting that daily exfoliation. But we need that sunscreen. So at night with this, you're good to go. But during the day, after you've applied your serum and after you've applied your moisturizer or your barrier cream, it is time to put on sunscreen. Now, this is what a lot of people don't admit. When we look online for glass skin, or even when we look on TikTok or on Instagram, a lot of the glass skin routines don't disclose that they are using Photoshop, makeup, or tinted sunscreens. Yes, tinted products. If I put a tinted sunscreen on my face and I said, I'm not wearing makeup, I'm technically not wearing makeup. I'm using sunscreen with a tint. But can you see how that could actually change, the color or the texture or the evenness of my skin? And it could lead someone to thinking that this is my natural skin when really there is a layer of sunscreen with a tint over the top. That is something that this industry does all the time. And a lot of the glass skin that you see when you look on Google, a lot of it is photoshopped. And I think that's important to know because literally all skin has pores. And if the idea is to have glass skin that is poreless, it's like, where are those pores going then? Show me your glass skin in high definition, okay? Then we'll actually see how good the glass skin can get. And that's why I do love these. We're gonna talk about tinted, but I'm also going to talk about one of the best sunscreens for acne or blemish prone skin that does not have a tint and why it works. But first, if you are looking for a tint, these are two great ones. This one's a little bit more lightweight. This is the Zinc Screen from Supergoop. It is wonderful. It kind of has this tint that smooths over the skin, but it's also very lightweight. So if you are oily, this is fantastic. Now, if you're a little bit more on the dry side, or if you want something that does cover up a little bit more, this one is expensive, but this is so good. This is the Sun Better Tone Smart. It's a water-resistant mineral sunscreen. It's an SPF 75, and this is very similar to almost sunscreen foundation in a way, whereas the Supergoop is much more lightweight. Now, both of these are beautiful, but if you are looking for sunscreen that has a bit of a tint, you can see that these have two different textures, and that both of these could work to give you that glass skin look. Now, if you don't want a tinted sunscreen, this is one of the best. This is from Face Reality. It's the Daily SPF 30, and this is the non-comedogenic sunscreen. They have this Clear Derma moisturizer, and it's very similar, but this is a sunscreen that does not break out acne-prone skin. It's literally made for those of us who have acne or hyperpigmentation, and Face Reality is basically an acne clinic. They're in the East Bay, and everything they do is made for people who struggle with breakouts. But this goes on so silky smooth. It comes out white, but it actually rubs in clear. And if you're looking for glass skin, this is one of the best sunscreens to protect you from the sun, but that also gives you kind of that glass skin dewiness, that bounce, but that isn't oily. This has green tea and allantoin. Both are super hydrating to skin. And then it also has macadamia and kukui nut oil and vitamin E. All of those are actually amazing for scarring. So if you are someone who's actively breaking out, or if sunscreen irritates your skin quite often, or if you just do have scars and you're worried about that skin texture, this goes on so smooth. It almost gives you that glass skin reflection. But again, it's not actually causing us to look overly oily, and it's made for blemish-prone skin, which a lot of other sunscreens aren't. I do want to be clear that this is a chemical/organic sunscreen, where these are physical/mineral, but this is fantastic if you want something with no flashback, and if you want something with a little bit more coverage, these are the way to go. Now, the whole thing about glass skin is being poreless and blemish-free. But what about those of us with blemishes? Hi, hello, literally right here. It is okay to spot treat, and when it comes to glass skin, I would actually recommend spot treating. Spot treating is not like an overall acne treatment or an overall hyperpigmentation treatment, and the reason why is because you're not preventing other, breakouts from happening in the future. That's the job of these two things. But if you do have spots, it's time to dot something onto them, and this helps you treat and even cover some of those blemishes or those pop-up areas, but overall still have the rest of the glass skin. This is from Skinfix. This is their 2% BHA spot treatment. They're actually a brand that is female founded in Canada. They are fantastic, and most of their products are actually made for like eczema and dermatitis prone skin. Now this is their acne line. This is a fantastic formula, and it's actually quite gentle, and you can apply this up to 3 times a day. So if you want to, you just kind of do this. You literally leave it on, you kind of melt it in, and up to 3 times a day you can reapply. And some spot treatments leave you red or they leave you flaky, and you can kind of see that there's a spot treatment there or a pimple patch. You can sometimes see that they're there. And for glass skin, that's not really what we're going for. But this doesn't dry things out, yet it still treats the problem. So you can literally put this on, I would say put it on over your serum and just underneath your moisturizer, and you can reapply that throughout the day to kind of help with those problem areas. Now, if you also want to, if you are extremely dry or if you really want extra hydration and extra bounce, you should face mask. I see a lot of glass skin routines saying that you should sheet mask. Now, sheet masks are great, but think about what they are. A sheet mask is literally a serum in a sheet mask. Like, all it is a serum. And the serum, we got this on lockdown. So if you're going to mask, actually use a mask. This is J Beauty, not K Beauty, but this works so well. This is from Slow Brew. They're a line that creates their skincare slowly, and they use cold processes, and they actually use a lot of fermentation. But this is their Geologist Herbal Clay Pack. This is so good. And as you can see, it is so thick. This is what thirsty skin will love. And I use it for my oily prone face because it doesn't overly irritate me. But especially if you do have dry skin, this is going to be a favorite. You can wear this overnight. I wouldn't really wear this during the day. If you wanted to, you could put this on kind of after your cleanser if you really have dry skin, but I really like this for nighttime use. It is absolutely beautiful, and it is supremely hydrating. Another pro tip that people don't talk about is multi-layering your skincare. Remember how we said that anything oily is just going to make us look greasy, and we don't want that all over our face? We literally want that dewy, supple skin. Well, there's a caveat to that. If you want a little bit of dewiness, it's okay to do on the cheek, maybe right here on the forehead or on the nose, again, as long as it's not overly greasy. While I don't recommend using oils, I do recommend using these. And these specifically, if you have hyperpigmentation or if you have kind of irritation, even redness in the skin, these are 10% vitamin C serum capsules, and these are from Heir. These are so cool. They're all paper packaging, and they come in like these little individual dispersy doodahs. What is a dispersy doodah? I don't know, but I love them. And these are actually biodegradable as well. So you can literally put them in water in the sink and they completely dissolve. And when we open these up, you'll see that it has this nice little liquidy serum inside, and it's not overly oily. It absorbs into skin well, but it does leave you with this kind of dew. And that dew is exactly what we want to use when it comes to this nose area and some of these cheeks. So as you can see, even when I just put this on, let me kind of blend this into my skin. A little goes a long way, but do you see how that gives me a little luminous touch? And again, the goal is not to use this all over or to look greasy, but for a little bit of a touch here and there, it's a no makeup way to get that glow and also to get the benefits of vitamin C. I also love using this kind of on my neck and even on my chest. I find that some people stop skincare, right here, and you can not only see sun damage or breakouts or other things in this area, but you can actually see like where someone is hydrated, and then it's just like dry skin or dull skin, which isn't a problem. Like, embrace your skin no matter how it looks. But if you're doing skincare up here, like, just make sure that everything matches. It's like those weightlifters that are always doing arms days and they never have a leg day. Have you ever seen those memes? It's kind of like that. It's like we're always hydrating, we're always exfoliating, we're always spot treating and lactic acid glass skin treating, and then we're just neglected. So do make sure that you are bringing your skincare all the way down, especially when it comes to some of these finishing touches like sunscreen or like these glow serums. You do want to make sure that you're also using them here. And on that note, you also don't want to forget about glass skin lips. If you can't tell, my lips are actually quite dry. We can talk about that quite soon because I tried to exfoliate my lips and it did not go as planned. I'm happy to share my mistakes so that you don't have to repeat them, but that is a video for another day. Glass skin does love hydrated lips, so put on a lip balm. Always remember to reapply your SPF. Tell me which of these products you are most interested in using, and if you put them in the comments along with a little blue heart and maybe even a little tree to match the tree in the background, maybe we might just randomly pick a winner. Maybe we might just randomly throw products at butterflies just because we've done that before and it was lots of fun, and maybe we'll do it again. But overall, always remember to be beautiful both inside and out and embrace the skin you're in. Save this or share it to a friend, and now you know how to get glass skin even if you do have texture. Love you guys. Bye.